Welcome back, family, to another episode of LANCESCURV. We're going to talk about a topic that I'm quite sure you've heard about before. I want to welcome everybody on in. Of course, there will be more people coming in as time goes by, but I want to jump into this because I'm going to have to read a few points that I jotted down. Willie C. Holman, Jr., how are you? I'm glad you're here. What a dignified name you have. That's money in that name. Not just frivolous, but integrity, wealth. It's the name. Like, who is that? That's got the that factor, the who factor. Anyway, you know, I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, but it's one of those things that you think about, and all of a sudden it's like you just kind of forget it, and it resurfaces again because there's always something that will grab my attention, and you know, there's only but so much time in the day. So today was the perfect day to do it because I have been seeing out here, and for those who don't know, I live out well, not at necessarily Accra, in the Accra outskirts. Can't tell you exactly where the Bat Cave is, but I do live in the outskirts of the Accra area. And I'm very observant, and I've noticed that there are many Chinamen who are courting black African women. Now, you know, really and truly, that's not something that you see. African women and Chinese men, the same way in Jamaica. You have black Jamaican women that Chinese men are getting pregnant. It's not even so much I'm going to marry you, I'm going to take care of you. It's not even a matter of that. They're getting them pregnant. And it's like, are you for real? Because there's no bond, there's no anything. It's a different mentality. I'm not You know how that goes. You should be hearing me right now. Sorry about that. Let me tell you something. I always do it to myself. That's not a conspiracy theory right now. Just let me know if you can hear me. And I think everything is all right because I can see you right on again. You know, I said to myself, let me cut my phone off so the phone doesn't ring in the middle of the show. And I'm tethering through my phone. It's better that way. So I do my internet through my phone. But I cut the phone off. So what do I expect? Right? I'm not going to let that bother me. People are going to come on and watch this video. Oh, no sound, no sound. And they're going to see a long video, right? But anyway, let me just welcome everybody in. Of course, I acknowledge Release E. Holman Jr., Sojourner Truth, love the name, of course, the beautiful avatar, NFN Shaka, Peaceful Pulley, and Willie Rivers. Yes, you hear me. I'm glad you do. So I'm just going to continue on from what I was saying. And I was saying how the Chinese, they may not be monolithic all the way because they do have differences. Those who have money and political connections, what I've heard, and those who are of the peasant class. Right? And then you have it as a sexist thing. It's a man's world over in China. It's all about the men, and the women are subservient. And that's about the two major ones that I've heard. I don't know if you've heard of any other ones different, because I was really close friends online with a young lady who she was born and raised in Atlanta and then moved down to Tampa with her family, and then she became an exchange student in, I think it was Shanghai, China, right? And she stayed there for a while and got into the culture. Not that she didn't want to be who she was, but she did not like Chinese men. She did not like white men. And that's what was hitting on her over there. But she liked the way of living. And so she stayed in school. She stayed there. And she became such a powerhouse in the medical industry that she was a heart specialist. And then she got to be like this great person who, I forgot what it is, that when you're so good in this particular area, whatever area you're in the medical industry, that when you write books, the whole industry is like, we got to read this. This is the new standard. So she used to go to my website because she missed black folks and black culture and just all the things I would post. It wasn't just me, but the participation. And this was before me being on YouTube. And I used to write about all kind of things. I used to write the erotica and stuff like that, but she liked the whole thing. So she would call me, and we'd talk, and she would tell me, a lot of emailing too, but she would call me. It was funny because that was such a long distance call. I heard an echo. Like we would have to say something and wait for the echo to come back, and then she'd pause or whatever. But she was telling me how we think that the Chinese are just like nice and smiling. She said they gangster over there on the higher up level. They are gangster in the political field, but she had lots of friends because she was such a high person in the medical field. All those worlds merged and melded, and she would tell me how the Chinese men would hit on her, and a lot of white men who come over there to do business, how their true racist colors would come out. There was one person told her, well, you know, I'll call you a nigga if I want to. What are you going to do, call out Sharpton out here? And he laughed in her face. So it's different. But with her, she was telling me all these different things, and it's too much to list. They gave me a whole complete different view of China. And for the most part, when they're venturing across the world to do something, whatever it may be, wherever they are, China is their home. I don't care where they go. Now, you have those who have become Americanized. They're born here, or they come here. They're born, for the most part, that are born here, and their parents were born here, and they get a little diluted. We understand that. But for the most part, those who come to different parts of the world, they are on a mission. They are not there to play. And they're not really into the one-man upmanship like many of us are. You see, because they're grinding for the total cause of them. See, I'm just kind of in an abstract way sharing with you my viewpoints that way from who I've talked to and it's one for all and all for one. And they will have their disputes amongst themselves, but at the end of the day, they're going to do what they have to do to get what they have to get. No matter how much money one has over the other, but they're going to do it. And you have them out here. You have them all over the world. Look at the United States, all over the world. And I'm not saying they're all, like I said, the Americanized ones are a little different, but you have Chinatown, wherever they go, they're going to have their own little setup. And there may not be a Chinatown out here, but there are areas that they flock to. And the government here, the people here, and us as a whole, where we would war with each other and go to battle with each other over stupidness. That's why I said on the banner, how stupid can we be? Because everybody else can come to us and we welcome them with open arms. And all they have to do is give us a story or say whatever, and we're so happy to accommodate them. We just have a perpetual state of Stockholm syndrome. It's just, come on in and take my resources. It's okay. And they're vicious. I'm not going to say killers. I wouldn't say that. But they have a very intense, we don't give a damn, we going to get what we get mentality. If I got to smile at you or do whatever. And so now out here, you're focusing on the women. Because see, the economy is, in Ghana, the economy for the locals are really bad, which means it's good for those who are coming here. I'm not saying, oh, it's good and I don't care about other people. No. But the economy is tight. I can't even say tight, because what we would say as tight in America, this is like beyond that. Folks here, they don't miss a beat. They hold on to stuff where we would throw it away. They're going to hold on to it. Let me see what I can do to keep this going. You know what I mean? We take things for granted. I'm not saying this is some poor African country like the stereotype of the flies flying around the hungry child. No. Folks out here eating. There's a lot of food out here, y'all. You'll starve in America first. It's a little bit different, the food, the cuisine, but what I'm saying is that they're eating out here. If you see any of my videos of me walking down the street down here in different places, you see how some folks are hefty. So that's not it. But I've seen Chinese men with black women, black African women. And I'm like, what's up with that? Now, before I get into my reading, the economy has, and I don't think this is really a cultural thing, because if money was flowing, I don't think it would be this way. But I think things have been tight for a while in comparison to what we're used to in the United States. And when a man approaches a woman, right, or even if just in conversation, just in passing, when that woman knows a man is pursuing her or interested in her for just one night, and she can sense it, from what I'm seeing overall, even though there are churches lined up on every other corner, mosques lined up on every other corner, when nobody's around, it's like, listen, I need money. They'll tell you that. Even when you're not trying to, I'm not going to say it like that, but somewhere along the lines, a conversation comes up about money. Or they will start to talk about something they need or whatever. And I'm not putting anybody down. So when things do get to be hot and heavy, you realize that the majority of the time it's not because they want to get hot and heavy with you. And I have no experience in this. I'm just saying my observations and talking to a lot of guys who have visited here and some who live here. It's a transactional thing. You want me, I need money. Now, some may not say it that way. But even casually, I was at the mall the other day, and there was a young lady who was sitting over by the other table, and she was asking me about New York City. Just innocent conversation. Because I'm a conversation gatherer. I like to discuss things. I'm in a laid back, different mentality right now than when I was in the States. I'm mellow. Don't be fooled by that. I'm still fiery. But what I mean is that I'm more sociable. So she was asking me about New York City. I was asking her things about here. She was telling me, and what she was telling me pretty much I understood to be the truth because other people had told me these things also, right? Please, y'all, remind me not to cut off the phone. I almost did it again, like, oh, the noise of the phone. I cut myself on the internet. But she started to talk about her registration to go back into school. And she said, oh, please pray for me. I don't have any money to register for school next week, whatever. And I'm like, okay. And the way she said it, it was like, it was a hustle. You know what I mean? So this is what I do when I flip it back on her. Some people get in situations or whatever, but some out here, nah. And I spoke about that on that article I wrote about, cyber horrors. Except this is in real life, and I'm not calling that young lady that, but that is the norm. They will try to find some way that you can help them, even if it's not authentic. I'm not saying it's everybody, but that's how you're viewed when you're here because your social media and on my phone, how rich it is over there. You got poor people who work hard to look rich or wealthy. You got wealthy people who work hard to look poor. Over there, you can play that game. When you come over here, you can look poor you want to. I'm not saying I walk out looking poor, but there's nothing. When I go out, I'm in stealth mode. Plain. Shorts, T-shirt. I don't wear jewelry. I don't even wear the stuff that they sell out here with the African colors. I used to wear that stuff, but I just don't because it just makes me look more like a tourist. And in the areas where I am, where I'm in, most people know me on sight. They don't know me by name. I mean, I've been here a couple of years already, so this is beginning to happen in certain areas. But it's a transactional thing. And with these Chinese men who are coming out here, they may have a little something, may not be millionaires, but they're sent here on a mission to get a hold of that land. And if they can't buy the land as a foreigner on a commercial level, because there's little splits with the laws here and there, whatever. When they come, they're not just trying to get like a quarter acre. They're coming to get acreage, y'all. So they can grow stuff. So they can send it back to their country. It's all about their country. They're not saying, well, we're gonna grow it here and then we're gonna sell it from here, we're gonna get a store or whatever. No, it's all about China. And see, most of the people in the world, they have a place that they can call their homeland. And yes, there's some who say they were originally from the United States. I'm not going to argue with you on that. But if that's truly your homeland, why don't you take it back from the people who took it from you? That's all I'm saying. I have no problem with you. I have no problem with a man who says he's a woman who wants to wear a dress. He may not be that. That's what you do. But at least have some interest in unifying. We fight so hard to work against each other. And yet, these dudes will go and make babies with these black women. So there's no doubt that when those children grow up with a Ghanaian mother and they have a Chinese father, the Chinese father will control that land. It may not even be purchased in his name, but he'll front the money. And those young children will own it, and he's going to control it. But then, this is what you have to understand also. And the same thing is happening in Jamaica with black women, in land, in Chinese men. Those children, they're going to make sure they don't identify with being an African. They may have a little color in their skin and the chinky eyes, but they're going to identify as Chinese. This is a long-term thing. And you know what's sad? We're thinking about the weekend. We're thinking about the next paycheck. We're thinking about getting the nice next car, whatever. And in 10 years from now, the car is a piece of junk. But if you take good care of it, you know what I mean? You're going to throw it away after a while. Financially, we go nowhere. Because we're just focusing on wearing our wealth, and it's not even wealth. wearing our debt on our sleeves. And you got these guys who will trek from a whole different country to come over here to the motherland and get with some of these women. And I hate to say it, how stupid can you be? These men don't love you. They want land, L-A-N-D. They don't want love, L-O-V-E. And some may know that. And for many, like I explained before, it will be a transactional thing. A transactional thing. Okay. You make sure I live a little better. You give me money. We'll have these babies. Now, I'm not saying they will say it that way. I'm not going to insult anybody's intelligence or insult anybody here. But the underlying thing is money. And I'll tell you from experience, little gestures, little whatever in public, you know when a woman is trying to, talk to you as a man. But I know what it's all about. But I'm going to read this to go deeper on certain points. In recent years, a disturbing trend has emerged in Africa, shedding light on the shrewd tactics employed by Chinese investors to secure valuable land rights. The revelation of Chinese men impregnating African women as a means to gain access to land epitomizes the depths to which foreign entities will go to exploit legal loopholes and cultural vulnerabilities for their own gain. We delve deeper into the sinister strategy behind Chinese land acquisition in Africa, exposing the implications for local communities and the broader global landscape. Let me just say, Gina G, I see you there. S. Reese, Flash Mel, yes. Reggie Burnett. I'm focusing on things, I haven't been really looking in the chat room, but I know you're there. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. We got people in America, in the UK, black people, and don't write in the comment section a copy and pasted novel about why I am not black. Whatever. That's what we call it, man. Go dig up James Brown and go make him remake the song, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. You know what we mean. Stop that. What about the unity? Here you have people who have no connection to the motherland. None whatsoever. But they see the value in it to go to it, to actually create a family, make babies. Are these men going to stay there? Well, yeah, they're going to stay and take care of them because they want to hang around and get that land. They're going to do that. But look at how in their lives, you see, yes, Beverly, I see you on Facebook. I'm going to flash your comment. Exactly. Exactly. If you want, you can come on over to LANCESCURV on YouTube where everybody else can see you. But if you're good there, I'm good with it too. Right? But this is how long term. Look, I'm not saying to be devious. I have a lot more to read. But let it be a brother at least. I mean, I'm not saying to be devious to come over here and take hold of land because certain places you can buy, certain places you lease for so many years, decades. But why don't you come over here and I'm not saying to do that, like that. But you got people who don't look like you coming over here with the purpose and intent that they're going to get them pregnant. They're going to enjoy the sex, get them pregnant, and just they using them. And some of us are so stupid. What are they telling these sisters? Is it just a money thing? And why would you sell out for that? Are you so beat down, and do you have a life that is hopeless? Because I will be honest, and some folks here are going to hate me, but there's a lot of limited thinking here, and there's a lot of hopelessness here for them to be able to even get down like that. Because the mind is not expanded to know the possibilities of what you can do and what you can be, especially as a woman. Because we have cultural limitations here that I see. The men treat the women here so bad. And the women are almost subservient, not that they want to be. I couldn't believe it. There was a young lady I knew in the old neighborhood I was living in when I was in the apartment. And she was kind of walking up. You know, I said, "Oh, how you doing?" Whatever. She had bags. She had something on her head. The bags were heavy. And we're walking down the street. And we're friends. So I said, "Listen, let me grab those bags for you." And I put my hand to grab the bag, and she snatched it away. She said, "Oh, no, don't do that." I said, "I know her husband. Me and her husband are really close. So surely he wouldn't think that I was trying anything with her just by helping her with the bags." I said, "What's wrong? Is everything okay?" She said, "No, you can't do that here." I said, "Wait a second, please. I don't understand. Tell me." She says, "Well, make you look weak." I said, "Me helping you with the heavy bags makes me look weak? I'm not weak. I'm thinking physically. Because the bags might be too heavy." But she's a skinny little girl. I mean, she's a grown woman. She's about 40 years old. What? But I'm like, "Weak? I can lift you and them bags and the thing on your head. What are you talking about?" I even said that because we joke around. She said, "Here, no. The men, they walk freely and the women do the work. And if you were carrying the bags, it would look weak to everybody else." I said, I really don't care about that. I don't care about looking weak because I'm not weak. I'm helping you out. You're a woman." But I understood. And she didn't give up them bags either. And you see men walking in front of the women, they're carrying stuff and they're not carrying nothing at all. And I'm like, what the heck is this? But at nighttime, they demand what they demand, and the woman has to clean, she has to cook, she has to raise the children, carry the children. I see that a lot out here. So there's a lot of hopelessness because the expectations are not low from the other people. It's just that you're just not allowed to see yourself higher. It's a lot of psychological sabotage here. And this is why many just say, like, it's going to be the cure-all, the answer. If I just get out of here and go to America. But you still have to fight the inner struggle and imprinting from the cultural way of thinking. And so let me just continue to read because we're going to touch on that. There's something I wrote that we're going to touch on. I want to say the first thing. Exploiting legal loopholes. Chinese investors often capitalize on lax landship regulations and weak enforcement mechanisms in African countries to facilitate their acquisition strategies. By navigating complex legal frameworks with the assistance of local intermediaries, they exploit ambiguities and loopholes to secure land rights through dubious means. These tactics enable them to circumvent legal scrutiny and assert control over vast swatches or sways, whatever, of valuable land. Typo. Often to the detriment of indigenous communities and ecosystems. The next one is manipulating cultural vulnerabilities. Cultural dynamics play a significant role in facilitating Chinese land acquisition in Africa. Exploiting cultural norms and traditions, Chinese investors strategically target vulnerable populations, particularly women, you see, to gain access to land rights. By leveraging social networks and economic incentives, they manipulate familial and communal structures to facilitate their acquisition efforts. This insidious manipulation of cultural vulnerabilities undermines local autonomy and perpetuates cycles of dependency on external actors. Generational implications. One of the most insidious aspects of Chinese land acquisition tactics in Africa lies in their generational implications. By targeting African women for impregnation, Chinese investors seek to establish a hereditary claim to land rights through their offspring. This calculated strategy exploits the biological and legal complexities of parenthood, ensuring a long-term foothold in the region. The implications of this tactic extend far beyond individual transactions, shaping the demographic and socioeconomic landscape for generations to come. Impact on local communities. The consequences of Chinese land acquisition tactics are felt actually by local communities across Africa. Dispossession, displacement, and environmental degradation are just some of the devastating effects of this predatory practice. Indigenous peoples are often marginalized in their own land as foreign investors prioritize profit over human rights and environmental stewardship. The erosion of traditional livelihoods and cultural heritage further exacerbates social tensions and inequality, perpetuating cycles of poverty and disenfranchisement. Global implications. The implications of Chinese land acquisitions tactics in Africa extend beyond the continent, reverberating throughout the global landscape. As China solidifies its presence in Africa through land grabs and resource extraction, it consolidates its economic and geopolitical influence on a global scale. This strategic positioning of Chinese investments in key sectors such as agriculture, mining, and infrastructure amplifies its leverage over global supply chains and market dynamics. This shift in power dynamics poses significant challenges for traditional Western powers and underscores the urgent need for a coordinated response to safeguard the interests of African nations and their citizens. In conclusion, the revelation of Chinese land acquisition tactics in Africa serves as a stark reminder of the lengths to which foreign entities will go to exploit vulnerable populations for their own gain. By exploring legal loopholes, cultural vulnerabilities, and generational implications, Chinese investors assert control over valuable land resources, perpetuating cycles of inequality and environmental degradation. As the global community grapples with the implications of China's growing influences in Africa, it must prioritize the protection of local communities and the preservation of their rights and resources. Only through concerted efforts to adjust the root causes of land grabbing can we ensure a more equitable and sustainable future for all. Now listen, we are not going to ensure a more equitable and sustainable future for all when we got black folks in America talking about, I ain't got nothing over there in Africa, but I hate my job. I want to start a business one day, but I ain't got nothing over there in Africa. Let me tell you something. We would be welcome here if we would invest, not just in the land, but just invest, bring our talent, our abilities. We would be appreciated. But we don't think about that. But you got other people coming over here, impregnating women to jump through the legal loopholes, to have a strong hold. And they're not doing this because, yeah, I'm going to be macking out in 20 years. No. No. They're doing this for the generations to come. And this is something we don't think about. I'm not saying for the black brothers to come over here and impregnate women to get land. No. If you happen to get with someone that you love and you want to start something, that comes with the territory. But come and do something. This is the future. The motherland is the future. And there's a lot of issues over here because it's such a grab for so much. Regardless as to what other people say, you can do so much here that you can't do in other places. Why do you think I'm here? I love it here. All the romanticized things I do love. Reality does come and smack you in the face. I'm not always embraced. I'm oftentimes looked at as a foreigner, an outcast, somebody from somewhere else. That you feel the warmth and the love, it all depends. I understand what it is because folks here have to acclimate to the rush of people moving over here. But you know what? You can do so much more if we had unity from the other end. I don't think anybody would argue when they say American Africans, Black Americans, whatever you want to call it. It's been said that we are the most influential set of black folks on the planet. And I understand what they mean by that. Because from over on this side, they look at us. They look at us like we're Superman and Superwoman. Even when sometimes they resent it. There's a little resentment too sometimes. You know how it is, even over in America. Look at them Koreans, look at them Indians moving in our neighborhood, setting up business. This is my neighborhood. I've been here all this time. And we have people who are not inspired to do something on their own, but they get mad when somebody else comes. That's the same thing. I've got to see it and feel it. Now, it's not something big. It's just a general, slight, overall thing that you ever have somebody burning incense like 5 doors down? And you sit home, I smell something. What is that? And then the wind blows a certain way softly and brings more of it. You're like, oh, somebody's burning incense. Well, these little things that I pick up, because when I'm out and about, I'm totally receptive to the atmosphere around me. Every glance, every smirk, every look, everything said and mumbled. I'm totally open. It's like, I love cats. They're very spiritual animals. And I had a cat that would go out in the backyard and it would just look around and you see the cat sniffing, like breathing and just absorbing what's around. It's gone from itself. So out here, I absorb everything. And I'm pretty good with what I absorb and spit back. Because I'm in a level of peace more so than I've ever been before. Relaxed, thinking. But I'll tell you though, we've been programmed ourselves to not see the value in the motherland. And even if you consider yourself indigenous to America, because the whole planet is Africa, we are the original. So wherever you are, it's okay if you claim that land. All I'm saying, you fight me down to tell me I'm not African when it's proven in my bloodline that I am. You fighting me to tell me what I'm not, but you're not doing what you should do for you. And see, we're split up in so many different ways. And when I began speaking about this, I told you how basically with the Chinese men, they're on top. They're the ones who make the rules. The women are subservient, not even considered. And after that, it's the status and money thing. After that, they don't see no differences. If you see a dude with a Chinese dude with blonde hair, he put that color in his hair. You see a Chinese dude with red hair, he put that color in his hair. Some may be a little darker than others, but basically it's the same. They have different dialects from the areas over there, from what I can recall. But when they leave and come over here or anywhere in the world, no, it's about them. With us, oh no. I'm American and you from the Caribbean, you less than me. I'm lighter and you're darker, you're less than me. And they won't say it, but we'll act it. And we got all these things in our head. Social media has made the separation even more intense and the rift even broader. It's like we see each other and we don't look to each other to find the common denominators. We look for the differences and capitalize on it as a means to not like each other. And we're wasting time. And you got Chinese men going that far to impregnate a sister to get land. He don't care about her. These people are terminators. They won't stop. They won't stop. It is something. And most of us are cooked. I've said it a couple of years ago. I'm done. You're not hearing me talk about wake up. If you fast asleep now and you're enjoying your slumber in the dreams that you're having, the wonderful dreams, and you wake up to a sad reality. Now, I'm not saying or throwing off on anybody saying you have a sad reality. If you're on this show right now, you have an internet connection. You paid that, and that's not crucial for life and death. So pretty much your refrigerator is full. You have certain basic things. But it's more to life than that. We need to be thinking generations ahead because other people are playing that game. And they come into our women. See? It'd be funny. You know, I'm a comedian. And them little Chinese girls that they have that are half black and half Chinese, they'd be a brother, go right on up in there and correct the situation when they get older. They need to be a African brother, go grab one of them half Chinese, half black women, dudes or women, and impregnate them and, you know, bring them right on back. But like I said, they are not going to culturally identify. They're going to make sure of that. They might even just take them on back to China and just enhance that connection. What does that do for us? This is going to create another rift. So you see Chinese generations down as a result from this type of opportunistic pairing. There's going to be a situation where they're going to be looked at as superior. I'm not saying they are. But they're going to have the land, the businesses, the money, and connections to China. And at most, some of us who are here, born and raised in the motherland, may not have an education, we're going to be looking merely for a job. And they'll give you a job, a little job, paying a little bit of something. Can't change your life. The jobs out here, they pay nothing. So please investigate before you come out here. Don't think, well, I'll get out there and find a job. There ain't no jobs for the Ghanaians. And most of them are unemployed. Have to go out and sell things in the street. They doing it. Don't come you think I'm just going to fill out a few applications. Now they have X out here. I think Google came out here. But you think they're going to pay you American wages out here? There's just so much. I'm not saying it's bad, but you better have another income coming in regular from something else. Pension, retirement, some other business that's run over there and it's run by your family, so you know it's going to be all right. This is the scary part that people don't want to deal with. And why many will come out here and go back home with their tail between their legs. Making all them videos. There's the motherland and my ancestors and they shut up. I'm not saying it to put anybody down. I'm just telling you the reality of it. And money is fast out here, even though it stretches also. So these Chinese who come out here, they have the backing. They have the backing. They have the backing of their government, not because they love them so much as you better go out there, you better do this and that. There's a different mentality to be able to do something like that. Imagine that. And we talk about the sisters, not all sisters, my dear sisters, not all but some, not all but some who see that brother who seems to be doing good, and she allows herself to be, how can I put it, taken advantage of, used, or accommodating him, because at the end of the day, she's going to get pregnant. And she knows from this guy's upbringing and his decency, if she gets pregnant, even if he doesn't end up with her, he's going to end up taking care of her, and she's going to have it a lot easier. Now, again, that's not all black women. It's not all, but there are some. And there are white women like that, of course. But, you know, we talk about us here. So what's the difference? It's the same thing, except the Chinese man is coming out here to get the black woman pregnant for a generational thing. And you think, oh, I just did this and that's the end of the mission. No, there'll be more Chinese men coming out here. Full-blooded Chinese men that might get with that half Chinese and half African and create a whole different category that will look down on the African. They will use you to put themselves in position and turn around and look at you. They all smiles now. They all smiles now. But when they have no more use for you, they're going to keep themselves away from you. Even those who are born with a darker complexion and chinky eyes, they're not going to identify with you, black African woman and man. We talk about racism and white folks. This is going to continue on with different people. You know, we got the Indians over there. I mean, the Indians from India don't like us, and some of them darker than us and don't like us. This is not a negative show tonight. We're talking something real that we don't want to acknowledge. And my thing is, what are we doing? Why don't we come over here or go somewhere? Pick a country near the equator. Get a couple of your friends together and say, hey, let's invest in something. Pennies on a dollar. And we'll take turns going out there seeing how things are. Get 4 of y'all. Get 3 of your good friends. And every season, go out to the country that you invested in the land and you're building something to make sure there's no funny business going on. I don't want to do that, man. I'm trying to get that Lexus, man. I work all these years. I deserve that. Come on. I don't have a Lexus. I don't even have a car right now. But I have more peace of mind on those levels than I ever have. Even when you have sense in America, even when you're level-headed in America, this thing just keeps coming at you like Night of the Living Dead. Remember that? I mean, they had Dawn of the Dead, but the original black and white one. You all boarded up in the house, every window they're trying to kick in, every door they're trying to knock down, and it's that thing that makes you spend money. You can't even get out the supermarket without seeing all different types of chewing gum and National Enquirer and National Gossip newspapers and different things that cost a whole lot. You go into a Wawa or one of the spots at night along the highway. You can go get a little hero, get something to drink. And the candy in there is so expensive because ain't nothing else open. They know they got you by the balls. And for the ladies, it's symbolic balls, right? And we can buy it. But you come to a place where money is tight. You ain't wasting one thing. One thing. And we feel we don't have any connection here. But look at it as an investment. You don't have to jump around and get dashikis and wear ankhs and start learning a different language. No. I tell you one thing, you got white folks out here who are making some moves. And they come back and tell you, they don't even tell you they come out here. They tell you how primitive it is here and all this and all that. Come on, you saw me walking around a mall out here. There's several nice malls. To me, some of them are better than the ones in America. Now, I'm not on some old, everything is in Africa is better than America. Ha ha. I don't have that kind of resentment. I love my people in America. I love the land in America. I just can't stand the system. But I will say, there's a lot of nice things out here to explore. Nice restaurants, nice culture. But we don't want to have anything to do with it out here. And our people here need us really bad. And some here are doing wonderful things. But it's all about the mentality. It's all about the viewpoint, your perspective. But we're screwed up to be taking advantage like this. Where are the men? Where are the men? Where's the black man? Where's the black African man who is for this woman and let these people slide up in here and get you pregnant to use you? That's evil, y'all. That shows you that they look at emotions and all that stuff a lot different than we do. Spirituality, all that stuff. No, it's about point A to point B. I do this, I'm going to get that. Exactly, Willie C. Holman. I'm going to put this up on the screen. Let everybody see it. This also applies to our black men sharing their seeds outside the black race. You see what I mean? Yeah. MW says, Willie, unfortunately, they'd rather do TikTok videos than listen to wisdom. You're so right. Yeah. Al Kibblin man, how are you? They will never learn because they think these foreign boys love them more than the mighty black man. Exactly. And they don't have a connection with you. They don't share a culture with you. Yeah, I know some of us may have done things to you and put their hands on you. That doesn't mean every black man has done that. But this here, the black African woman who allows this, I would like to talk to one of them. If I see one in the street, I'm not going to disrespect them. But there's a Chinese man next to them, or because they don't really show affection, these Chinese men. It ain't like they lovey-dovey with the black sister. Looking at her in love and, sweetheart, I'm going to do this for you, and we're going to have a Freudian slip. She's going to have a lonely life. There's going to be no connection. I'd like to get her by herself and just simply ask, why? Why are you doing this? I know the unwritten law of advancing yourself financially, but how much is he giving you to give up your womb and to change the direction of your bloodline, which he cares not about? He got his eyes on the prize of land under your feet. He's not thinking about you. If you told him you got to choose between me and that land, he's gone. He don't love you, and you know that. But why? Why? That's my question. Is it that bad? Is your lust to have a few more dollars in the bank account that severe? This short-term thing that you're just getting is a guarantee that he's going to stay with you? He's going to hang around long enough to deal with them children for them to get older, and he'll be around. You think he's going to be faithful to you? And do you really care? Because maybe you don't care. Maybe you just want to be secured. Let me take a sip of this water. Give me a second, y'all. Let me ask you something. Do you think that, I'm not saying me per se, but do you think me as a black man can go over to China and play a game like that? They would outright change the rules of the game and move the goalposts. They first of all, they gonna let me close to any one of the women, and the women there know what time it is. And I will say, you have a younger party crowd. You have that faction there in China. It's not like every Chinese woman is some little peasant on the side of the road. You have athletes that go out there, and these Chinese women meet them at the airport when they come back home, come back to the hotel with them. They don't care if it's 4 or 5 other ones. It's the opportunity. It's just a passing fancy. But do you think I can go over there and get a Chinese woman pregnant and have some half black, half Chinese babies, and because they're connected to her and she's connected to the country, that I can take advantage as a father and get a hold of some land and run things over there as a black man? Heck to the no. They ain't going to allow it. Even if I did that and the Chinese woman is down acting as the front person to make they see me in there somehow? No. They're going to break rules over there because that's what they do. About maybe a year and a half, 2 years, I was speaking to this woman from China, black woman from America. I'd hear her in the supermarket. I'm like, yo, you speak that stuff and speak it good. Because she had to teach medical English to the Chinese, which, you know, you had to learn medical Chinese to be able to translate it from medical English. And medical English is not easy. You go into the doctor and say, well, you know, my elbow hurts. Elbow ain't elbow in medical English. It's some long, twice the size of an alphabet. I'm just making it up. But it's not elbow. The different parts of the body are not that. So that's hard enough. And then to be able to learn medical Chinese and then teach this in their language, medical English. When you look at how the Chinese write with the strokes and the lines, and you learned all that, not just the regular stuff, but the medical Chinese stuff. Oh no, she's got all kind of awards. She's brilliant. She's world renowned. But told me the deal about that place. And she had her issues too. That was a real crazy story with her. But we couldn't talk anymore. I had to stop that. Very interesting story, though. I won't bring that up here. Very interesting story. Very interesting story. How people can be delusional. I'll just leave it at that. But there is no joke. So these who come here, imagine that. Like, they know they're just going to find an African woman and get her pregnant. Like, this is their life mission. And there are others that probably talk about it. Whole crew of them coming out here to impregnate African women. And some of our sisters, they're so caught up in anything that doesn't look like them. I go down to a zoo that's here in Accra. Oxford Street is one street that has so many clubs and restaurants and everything. You feel like you're in New York on that one street. Matter of fact, right now, we're 5 hours ahead here than on the East Coast of the United States. Right now, it's 11:30. If I had a Star Trek transporter and put myself over there, you would not believe the energy. No, I'm not saying it's anything bad, but it's happening over there. I couldn't believe it. Prostitutes and all, clubs, restaurants, People walking around. A lot of young folks, some older folks, tourists, a lot of tourists, a lot of hotels there. But it's crazy. You know, what we have to go through and what we give up out of our ignorance. How they're strategically moving us out of position from our birthright. And what will we have? If all the races this planet had their way, where would we be? And we shouldn't be in a position or a mindset to just let them have their way. We don't want to see the bigger picture. We're stuck on stupid. We only see the now. This weekend. Living for the weekend. And then what? And you wonder why things in the world toward us the way they are. We have no respect. There's no sanctity. There's no reverence for the things that should be important to us. We carry ourselves all kinds of ways, and we treat our women so terrible. And some of our sisters speak of us so terrible. For the world to see. And we wonder why they treat us this way. We wonder why they have low expectations of us. I'm saying what that Chinese man is doing is right. But at least he's on a mission. At least he's on a mission. Why can't we be on a mission with our own women and say, you know what? I'm going to take care of her. I'm going to love her. I'm going to secure her. And we're going to build something. We're going to accrue this land. We're going to build something for our children. Because this thing that you see on this banner is not going to work out for the sister. Because it's all about China. I don't care if I got to have a couple mixed breed children. We're going to go over there and we're going to snatch back their minds and bring them on back once we have the land. That's the way it goes, y'all. I'm going to look at some of these comments. I'm going to wrap it down soon. I know I wasn't on for a long time. But I'm going to catch an early rest tonight and come back stronger tomorrow and find something relevant that we need to discuss. We can talk about this 50 million different ways, but the main thing, you heard me read those different points out. They're going places where we're not even thinking about going. You see? And then we'll be surprised when certain things are not affordable. You know, all this romanticizing. They're not romanticizing nothing. They want world dominance. Why can't we think of world dominance with the strong genes and DNA that we have, with everything coming from us? They are trying to erase us off the face of the planet. They want to take our land. They want to use our women. They want to get rid of the man. If they don't get rid of him, they want him to want to be a woman. They want us all screwed up. And we're afraid to say it. It all comes back to that. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us, y'all? If anybody wants to come in and say anything, I'll be wrapping it down soon, but I'll wait a minute or two. If you want to add on to the topic or share your thoughts, you can do so. The link, I just dropped it in the chat room, and allow me to take a little quick sip. It's one of the best things to be hydrated. You're right. Self-hate is what's wrong with us. And it goes so deep. And we'll treat other people so nice and treat our own so terrible. We'll find differences and find reasons to hate each other. And when it's in my midst, I do not want to be bothered with it. If you can be this way, after all you know what we have to go through on this planet, that you can turn around and treat each other like this. So I'm not going to really even blame anybody else. I'm blaming us. You know? You're right, Brother Kwame. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yes, you are. Let me see this one here. Vocabulary, man. This is not opening up. Like they don't want to comment the show. What the hell is going on here? Okay, there it is. Right, those foreigners are sicking that Western culture on those African women and men. I see them wearing blonde horsehair weaves with blue, green, red, orange, pink coloring. Yes. Yes. And our sisters are eating it up. And the brothers are not even appreciating original acts. But the skinny trails up with them blonde wigs or coloring their hair blonde and just showing themselves, exposing themselves. And what is that? Repackaging themselves. Want to be like that side of the earth where those practices are no good for us. It's not making them more beautiful. It's watering them down even more. I just don't understand it, y'all. Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'll probably come back on a lot earlier tomorrow, but this was on my heart to speak on and let it go out to the world and share it and like it and all that good stuff. But we really, and this is one slice of a situation. I'm not saying those two are the bad. I'm just saying this is one topic. We're becoming unraveled, and nobody wants to see it. The more unraveled we become is the harder we party in denial. Living room, and you see fire coming out the kitchen. Oh, that's just somebody cooking. We want to be dumb. And I will call it out. I'm sorry, I'm just going to call it out. In this case, we are dumb. You're going to let this Chinese man come and spray up inside of you with no protection, and you know good and damn well he don't love you. Getting a soul tie with somebody who can't even love you, can't even appreciate you. You are object. Go and get up all up on this man. This is nasty, man. This is nasty. Laying up with people who don't love you because they want advantage in your country and want to rule you out. But we're the brothers. We're the brothers. To be the man for that woman. So she's not there as an animal in open season in hunting. You think that Chinaman is going to just stick with one and be faithful? He's going to try to spray up as many wombs as he possibly can. It's all about the land acquisition. It's a powerful thing. And they're going to change the culture. They're going to reduce the African culture that she is born and raised in. They're going to wipe that out because culture keeps things intact. If they can get rid of culture next, then so be it. Next generation down or 2 generations down, they're going to wipe it out. We'll be on a museum wall as a picture. Well, before the black man and woman, here's a photo of them. I'm telling you. This is what they want. That's not going to happen, but that's what they want. They're going to damn sure try. They're going to have more and more pandemics until most of us get wiped out. We don't wipe our own selves out in frustration and whatever, the madness that we indulge in. But there's business to take care of legitimately. You have to go out and spray up somebody's womb just to get no land. But they're the ones desperate for that. And they're going to get ahead quick because there's no shortage of sisters out here to accommodate them. Listen, y'all, I'm going to hit the sack. And I just want to say how much I enjoyed being here. And you're right, Al-Kabila, man. Religion is the main concept for our division. We know this. You know, we preachers of the choir. When Al-Kabila man speaks, it's like I'm speaking. When another one's speaking, Brother Kwame and M.W. and everybody else is here. And I know there's some people who peek on the show. They can't stand it. Those people, that's all they talk about. You ready? We're going to the club tonight. Do what? What are you celebrating? The death of your people? The slow burn? The slow sinking into the quicksand of anonymity where they won't be seen anymore? It's crazy where we find ourselves. I did not know we were going to find ourselves in this place in the year 2024. I remember being in the barber shop 6, 7 years old. I was 6 years old in 1969. I was 7 years old in 1970. Remember the old barbers talking about Malcolm X, and then Malcolm X got snuffed out in 65 after I was born, two years before that. Right up about a mile away from where I was living. He was at the Audubon Ballroom. The hospital I was born in is the hospital that the Audubon Ballroom was across the street from, and they wheeled them over there. It was all local stuff. Wasn't out there as much. It was, but not like afterward. Man gave his life serving and doing what he loved to do for his people. And he died broke. Died hurting. And we had all this time to get it together. Imagine if Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Marcus Garvey can come back now and look at the state of the world, sitting down looking at a little Nas X video that would make those grown men cry. Seeing how many of our men would rather be players and thugs. Not all of them. No, there are a lot of decent brothers out here who are available to marry and working progressively, trying to get better. But we are not better off than what we were before. We are not. We are not. My memory goes back far. Oh, man. Ain't that something, Al-Kirilin? I took my hair off. That razor blade is my friend. And I sort of shaved my head with it back in 99. I'm afraid to let it grow back now. No, I know it's mostly gray, and you know what I mean? I have no problem with that. I'm not hiding that. I just like waking up and I'm ready to roll that way. And I just like to be clean cut. Shave every day. I got the razor bumps to prove it. That's beautiful, Kwame. I'd love to hear you come on and speak sometime. Oh, thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Crystal. Check out the website, LANCESCURV.com. Better experience on the computer. Still good on the phone, and dig deep. 23 years of stuff there. The different categories and stuff. You know, like right now, even me, I got nothing to prove. I do what I do every day, and I got nothing to prove. We're just going to keep talking about real things. I can amp up and say things and talk about this. Oh, man, he bugging. Man, I like this show. You know, there are times I will do that. I just want to put something back out there that's real. Make people think. I just can't believe how so many of us are so damn stupid. I have to call it what it is. I can't give nobody a pass anymore. There's too much information floating around on the same cyberspace and internet where we're watching the TikTok videos of shaking up and talking stupidness and rainbow stuff. They done hijacked the rainbow. They should have hijacked the alphabet. And we can't say anything. But you got Chinese men doing it on the layaway program. Remember the layaway program? You go to a department store. They didn't have credit cards. So you commit that in so many payments. I'm going to pay for this and I'll come pick it up. Could be months. Right? It hurts me, though. It really hurts me. I want to see us win. I'm not trying to destroy anybody else like they're trying to destroy us. I just want to see us win. We have it in us. And it happens every now and then, but not enough. Too much potential, too much greatness we have. Little seed of the world. Come on, man. Nature is a powerful force, and we are nature. We're the first step away from the Creator. We're powerful. And most of the time, what we have is used by someone else, and we're like mules, workhorses, objects of pleasure for their pleasure. Then we're cool with them as long as we degrade ourselves. We can't walk like men. We can't walk strong. We can't make commands and order things to happen across the face of the earth. Hell, if they had their own way, which they already do, we can't even be men in our own homes. Walk around like punks. Don't let me get started on that. I'll be here another 3 hours. Oh, man. We're going to come back on tomorrow. We're going to talk about something just as important. It's going to come to me, just like this one came to me today. Joe, listen, y'all. I'm going to make sure to run. I'm going to get a little sleep. I had to jump up early this morning. I went to bed kind of late. So I'm going to make sure to get some rest. I'll come back better tomorrow. We'll have a good show, good discussion. I'm always open. Look down in the description area. There's ways to contact me. There's ways to support this, ways to just explore. Go on down there and check it out. The body of work speaks for itself. I have nothing to prove. I'm not out here competing with nobody. I have nothing to prove. All right? Anyway, much love to you all. I will talk to you tomorrow. Much respect for my brothers and much love for my sisters. We do this every day. I just don't do this. I live this. This is my life, and I love you all. Peace.
Make sure to go to LANCESCURV.com, an online magazine established in 2001, containing written articles, thousands of talk shows and discussions, cutting-edge cartoons, as well as erotic expressions and tasteful adult photography. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Once you get a taste of the world of LANCESCURV, trust me, you'll be back for more. LANCESCURV.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.